Amir Jose Macari from Cal State Sacramento. So do you think that this time, this workshop, this report that puts out is going to make a difference? And why or why not?
Good question. And I can't speak for the thing as a whole, but I was in the Florida discussion group this morning, and it was awesome that at the end of an hour and a half, do you all want to talk about it? Okay, all right. At the end of an hour and a half, they had plans for a next meeting. They had strategies for what they were going to do. They had a brand new idea about how to use work-study students to increase the number of students who get undergraduate research experiences without extra costs. They already have a meeting planned for ways to better integrate with their community colleges in ways to get more diverse students more effectively through to the university level. And that was in an hour and a half. So yes, if folks are, and I think yesterday was a good preparation and leading up to think about it. So I didn't get in the other state or regional groups, but by gosh, if you guys are doing as much as Florida is, I do have hopes that this one's going to make a difference.
Go Florida!
Pamela, in our group, I volunteered you to be the MOOC for, I said, if you could have an instructor that would reach students out there who haven't signed up for engineering, if you were the instructor, if we were scared of online instruction, we talked about, if you were the ones that students saw and they engaged with you, I know we'd have more people. That's a side piece about ours. Pat, can you talk more about the Treisman and the teaching spatial and visualization, just that it's out there. So we're supposed to be surmounting the barriers, and I do feel a little bit frustrated about how we can know, as you said, years later, it's still not a staple to have these facilitated study groups. Or what do we do? Do you have a recommendation? I'm especially interested in the spatial visualization. If you can actually teach students and give practice, what's holding us back on that front?
Bev says money.
That's all it is.
Um,
we had it at Virginia Tech.
Bev.
I know. Okay, so they did the Treisman model at Virginia Tech for, 8 years. And then math decided they didn't have enough money to continue, so they stopped.
Now you are doing spatial visualization.
We're doing the spatial visualization. We'll see how long it lasts.
I mean, part of it is, and this is something from re-engineering corporate change, is the first step is to rethink your budget. That the way we do budgets now, you actually don't have any idea about how much the money that's spent for the Treisman model saves you in extra money. You have no idea how much money the $2,500, I made that up, to teach a spatial visualization course saves you in other areas. So for the first step, I think a really important step for provosts, for deans, is to think about rethinking how you compute your budget. Look at your budget in terms of what the value added is. There was a program, the Gateway to Higher Education, that I was with in New York, and there were a lot of concerns because it cost $1,900 more per student. It was New York City, and 90% of them were going off to college, but it was $1,900 over the top. What the budget didn't do was look at how much was saved, because in the Gateway programs, you didn't have cops. You didn't have metal detectors. And so that actually, if you budgeted it correctly, the Gateway program actually cost less per student than the regular program, but because that's not how they budgeted it, it was seen as an additional cost. That's what happens with spatial skills. That's what happens with facilitated groups.